Ashes of Creation is probably the most anticipated MMORPG in newer times. I paid the $130 key to actually test out the alpha, so I'll be letting you guys know in this video what I think about the game. Reminder that this is the alpha, so of course there are certain things, or most of the things will change and get better. So the overall review and the impressions that I have, I will take into consideration that it is an alpha and give my honest thoughts on it. But let's jump into the video and find out what Ashes is all about. So I'm going to make the video very simple. First, we're going to talk about the pros, what I really liked about the game, what I want to see more of when the game launches, and then we're going to talk about the cons, which is things that I did not like, and hopefully things that they will change, which would be like the core things and aspects of the game. But let's just jump right into it. We start with the character customization. We can choose between 3 different races. You have like the elf style class, which is called Empyrean. You have the Kalar, which is more of the human style, and then you have the undead. From what I've seen, I haven't seen much difference except just how the characters look. I don't think there's any skill abilities. Maybe there will be at launch, but straight up that these will be the characters you can choose between. They do have classes that we can select. It's probably hidden behind my camera right now. I'll show you guys. We have the bard, we have the cleric, which is the main healer. The bard also has some melody, can DPS. You can do some cool damage. We will take a more look close to the bard, and then we have the fighter, which is melee fighter, and then we have the mage, range mage. The range is, I will show you guys. The range is amazing. We have the ranger, and then we have the tank. So the game does have a holy trinity where you will be using a tank, you'll be using a healer to heal, and DPS. Holy trinity is my favorite style of MMO, so I'm really happy they have this. I haven't made a bard yet, so we're gonna go with a bard. And then we have appearance, a little bit of character customization that you can choose within a couple of presets, and then you can basically just design your character like you want with like the body shapes. Not too much. I kind of want to see a little bit more of this stuff, but there's a little bit of character customization here that you can take a look at. So I think having the character customization, the characters, they look good, especially when you do the customization, but definitely a bit more detail and stuff that you can add to it. But having a little bit of character customization for the alpha is always good, right? So I expect it to be way more for when they actually launch the game, and I think they will add more and more stuff eventually, but right now this will be the character customization that you'll be able to see in the alpha. So not too bad. Eventually, hopefully it gets a little bit better, but a little bit of character customization, I mean, nothing to complain about. Let's just change the hair color on this class, and boom. So this is how you design the class, and then you can choose a little bit if you want a broken nose and stuff. A little bit of the details if you want to. But let's jump right into the next thing, which I want to talk about, which is the combat, okay? Now, we can select different classes. We're going to jump into my my fighter first. With the fighter, I spent a lot of time playing the game, checking out the quest, while with the mage, I just straight up and farmed monsters, and I will explain to you guys why I did that. But I spent some time into the game trying to learn how the questing works, how the world works. But first thing first, we gotta take a look at the combat, because I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect much of the combat for the game, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. Now, when it comes to the combat in the game, you have your sprint button, you have your block button, and then you have your dodge button. And honestly, it feels good. When I use the skills, it actually feels good. It doesn't feel as clunky. And you have a little bit of jump, you know, you have jump abilities, you have block abilities. I like the way they're going with the combat. I like when you have a lot of things that you can use, like dodge, block, all this stuff. And when it comes to the skills itself, you can actually, it's a tap target game, right? But you have a chance to use like an action camera, right? But aside from the tap target and action camera, the game, you can actually use your skills without having a target. So I can use my skills like a full action combat game, right? To attack and stuff, which is really cool. I really like that. When you have a lot of I like straight up tap target combat. That's like my style of play, right? But the game does have this, so that is really cool. So tap target, action combat a little bit, but mainly it's gonna be probably most focused around like tap targeting your enemies, right? But that is the melee. Like I gotta say, the melee was fun to play, and you guys know me, I play melee in every single game that I play. but it did feel a little bit more clunky playing the melee. But the range classes, and you guys know me, I don't often play or barely play range characters, but playing the mage was really fun. I had a great time testing it out, and I will show you guys why. All right, so I'm on my mage and I'm only level 4, but I've unlocked a bunch of skills already, and I want to show you guys how this skill works, okay? First of all, the range is insane on the range character. So I can hit this guy from over here, and I can cast a spell. I can move a little bit while casting, and I can move out of the range. So let's see, this is my max range from this dude, but I can cast a spell and I can move out of range, and it will still cast and hit him. And I can keep doing this, right? So it will come, I keep hitting them, and this guy's high level. Let's see if we can actually kill him. Oh, he does a lot of damage to me. He's casting. And then you come close and I just teleport or yoink. And keep casting. Yeah, playing the mage is really fun. It's a lot of like abilities you can use, and the combat feels very nice too. Like a lot of movement while attacking, all the stuff that I like in an MMO. Of course, it can get work a little bit around it, but the core things of an MMO, one of the most important things is the combat, and I really liked it. And the skill system is really cool too. You can like dive into your skills. What kind of, for example, for the mage, you can go into the ice details, lightning details. You have like dodge abilities or teleport abilities, and then you have your weapon skills, and then you have your stamina. What kind of basically, as a mage, I like to roll a lot, so I can work around that. And then you have skill books, so a lot of deep dive talents, which I really like. So combat, I would definitely say, is one of the strongest points and what I probably enjoy the most playing the alpha. And what I also like is, for example, the mob I just fought, right? Even though I am low level and I should not be attacking that mob, the difficulty, I would say, of especially early game is hard. Maybe a little too hard, but I like the hard difficulty because I like to grind. I like to feel challenged when I'm farming mobs and doing this stuff. I think it's a really good thing in the game. So the difficulty of mobs and stuff is really high. It's not as easy as you would have in most early levels, but I think it's one of the better things with the game, having like a hard early game. So overall, aside from just the combat and the leveling, what I really enjoy about the game is, even though they can definitely polish the game a little bit, make it look better, because it's Unreal Engine 5, and we don't know, like, this game might come out in several years, right? But so I definitely expect it to look a little bit better. I think it looks decent, but what I really like about the game is the world. Man, look at this. Okay, we're in the first node, the first village, right? And if you look around, on top of me, I have this massive bridge. That's the bridge that we were on earlier. We can get the world, the map is absolutely huge. There's so much things. Even like in this area, we have this whole other area on top of me, and there's several like areas that are below. The world is just massive, and I really like that. I think just having a massive world with a lot of monsters and areas to go to is really great. They can definitely work on the art style and the graphics a little bit more, maybe change the lighting, but the world itself, I think, is huge. So it's going to be a lot of things to explore. There's certain things we can swim. You can swim in this game, and underneath the water, you can find treasures and secrets. So the world definitely is one of the strongest points of the game. I actually love like this type of style, like right underneath like the peaceful village, you have this whole area where you can go and fight elites and monsters. I think it's a great thing. So really good thing. And while you're running around there, you have a huge open world, right? You run around, there's players running around everywhere fighting. And what is really cool about it, sometimes when I'm not even in a group, right? I'm not even in a group, I'm down, I'm farming these monsters, there's a random guy that would just heal me from nowhere, right? It's a really cool thing. I mean, if you guys, by the way, shout out to you, if you're healing me and I'm not in your team, you're the real MVP. But it's really cool just walking around the world. It feels like a proper MMORPG, right? You see players everywhere, even in the alpha. In the alpha, people paid hundreds, like a lot of money, and you still see like a lot of people running around doing questing, leveling up around here. I think it's one of the strongest points of the game. Like, it doesn't have like line 1, line 2, like all this BS. It's actually full open world. like an MMO should be. So meeting players over everywhere, doing different things, I think is one of the better things. And the game has these events right here. You guys can see on the mini map right here. I have the Horn of Betrayal going on. It's basically events that happen in the open world. I think is one of the coolest things in the game right now, especially in the alpha stages. Is you go inside of these, and there's going to be different missions. These ones are not active right now, but I wish I could find one. But the events are just open around the world. You can join, and it's about defending cards or fighting monsters, but it's just a massive amount of players there you can join up in and fight together with them, right? So all of this open world things, the small details, I think is really phenomenal and one of the strongest points of the game. Just walk around, do all these events. It's been good. Then we have the life skills. Okay, now the life skills, they're good. I like them, but it's nothing like super unique about it. Like you can go and you can like cut trees and stuff. I haven't unlocked it on this character because I haven't done any quest. You can see here, chop. I need the stuff. Like this guy. Oh, that's cool. Look, he's trying to invite me to a party to do some farm with him. But this is what I mean. You can farm the life skills. You can cut trees. You can go fishing. You can hunt skin monsters. So doing these life skills, I didn't feel anything crazy. It wasn't like, wow, this is amazing in any type of way. It's like the typical life skills, and definitely needs a little bit of work. But like the whole animation, everything with life skills felt good. But still in the early stages. But the nice thing is the game does have a lot of other stuff to do than just, you know, questing or leveling. You have a lot of other options if you want to, you know, build or increase your life skills and craft and stuff. The game does have the sound design is also really good when it comes to crafting. Now this is gonna be a very classic grindy MMO from what I can tell. Of course they can make changes, but right now it's a very grindy game. It's all about putting in the work, fighting monsters. That's how you get most of your XP. It's actually like fighting these monsters around the map, teaming up with players, and just very grindy, the classical style MMO. And in my opinion, it's one of the best ways to have an MMO. It is to have that grind. It is to have all these features. Now that is what I really liked about the game. But now we got to talk about what I didn't like so much about the game. Okay, so we got to talk about what I did not enjoy that much. And the first thing first is the quest. Okay, the questing in this game is absolutely horrible. I know it's early alpha, and that's really good because this is definitely something that they need to work on. And let's just take a first look at the quests. I have these quests in the small sidebar here. I know my exit lag is covering it, but let me just move this real quick here. Look at this. These are quests, early quests. They're so small on the side. And look at this one, for example, proper burial. I actually work on this quest a little bit, but look, bro, how much am I supposed to read? They want me to read a whole Bible, first of all, and do all of these things. This is one quest. Look at this. This is one quest. That's crazy. Like these quests are so annoying to do, and like you don't even know. Like you see this icon right here. This is the quest icon, and I already picked up his quest, but this is the same icon. So I don't even know if I have this guy's quest or this guy's quest, or what am I supposed to do. It doesn't tell you anything, where to go, where to be. It's not like early game friendly at all. It's actually one of the worst things in the game. I actually spent hours and hours yesterday trying to learn the game, but the XP you get from the quests are literally terrible. You get almost no XP from doing them. You actually just get, like, for example, this quest, I actually get more XP just killing a few goblins up there than actually finishing this quest that's actually way longer, right? So questing in this game was not fun at all in any type of way. Very hard to understand what you need to do. I actually struggled with one of these quests right here. I think it's like find something, like talk to an NPC or something, and I couldn't find him, and it was just a very horrible experience. So don't like the quest. Too much reading. Not beginner friendly. It's very hard to understand. So they definitely need to change how the questing works in the game. Especially as a new player, you don't want to be stuck on one quest or two quests the whole time and not understanding what you're doing. It kind of like destroys the vibe of it. The game was when I stopped questing and actually started like monster hunting and stuff and doing other things, the game was way more fun. So the questing, didn't want to do it. So definitely hard to do the quest. And what I also don't like about the game, it's very hard to understand what the game wants me to do in the early start of the game, right? I don't know if it wants me to quest. I don't know if it wants me to craft. I don't understand if I need to go farm mobs. Like, what does the game want me to do? It just gives you all of these quests. It doesn't tell you anything or give you any like directions to follow. Of course, I did the quest and I could do some wood cutting and craft some pickaxes and stuff, but I don't know what it wants me to do. So the early game is very like not kind of understandable what you're supposed to do with the early game. So hopefully they make it a little bit more clear, like kind of lead. I like that you can do a lot of things, but they should still try to like navigate you in what they want you to do, right? Like for example, the monsters are hard to kill. Maybe guide me towards, hey, you should be crafting gear, you should be getting gear so you guys can fight these monsters earlier, or am I supposed to just fight them in a very difficult way, right? So hopefully a little bit more explanation with the early game would be nice, and fixing that questing would be really good. Now the map, we gotta talk about the map. Okay, this is a massive map, but the map is so annoying because first of all, you can't see the quests until you like really zoom in. And then let's say I'm on the map right here. I can't move this map at all, right? My mini map, I can zoom in, right? But that's it. I can't like move around. And then if I accidentally click, I try to drag, right? If I click this, it just pops like this. And the same here. If you're here and you click anything, you try to like move, I can't click on, if the second I click this, it moves me to it. So the whole like map thing it's so annoying. Hopefully they like work on this a little bit more. And the icons too are very confusing. You have this quest icon, you have this quest icon, you have these things that pops up. You can't see if you have any quests going to certain areas. For example, here I have a quest that I need to become a citizen, and to do that I have to go to one of these towns, but you have to be level 10. The quest didn't tell you this, so it just gives you a quest which you can't even complete. So I will use all my time to get over here, and I probably can't even do the quest there, right? So a little bit more better like map irrigation navigation system should be better. You should be able to see icons when you actually zoom out if you want to see them, right? But you can't. Like the map definitely needs a little bit of work. The mini map too, like you should be able to drag around the mini map to see what's close to you instead of always opening the big map, right? So hopefully the map system will get a little bit better when it comes to moving and navigating. Definitely needs work. Now the game unfortunately is not as solo friendly. Now, I like that you want to play, you need to play with people, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what makes MMO fun. It's a massive multiplayer game, right? You want to be playing with people, you want to join friends, do dungeons, raids, and stuff with them. But early game, when people are understanding and trying to figure out the game, it's very important that it's a very solo-friendly game, right? Now, grinding solo is not an issue until you hit certain levels. But once you hit certain levels, the game kind of wants you to farm in a group of parties. When you're farming mobs, you're farming events, you kind of want to be in a party to be able to level up and get to the higher levels. So I wish it was a little bit more solo friendly. I think that party content should be for like events. It's a great thing, right? You do events, you join parties, dungeons. If there's early dungeons or early PvP things, should be party based, and all end game stuff or most of the end game stuff should be party based. But early game, we're just grinding, trying to quest or level up. I do think that should be a little bit more solo friendly. Like a lot of people, including me, I got to certain levels on certain characters, and then I just stopped logging them because I kind of have to look for a party to be able to actually do stuff in the game, right? So definitely wish it was a little bit more solo friendly, and I kind of wanted, hopefully, it will become more solo friendly, especially for the early game. Now the contribution, like when you're actually farming mobs, let's say I hit this guy, right? I can bring him almost to let's say I bring him to this HP right there. If this guy finishes off the mob right here, I don't get any contribution. I get nothing at all. Especially as a melee player, it's one of the most annoying things, especially in this game when the range is so high for the range players. Being a melee player, trying to get mob contribution, try to DPS is really tough because you have to actually do more than 50% of the mob's HP. You can't tag it. You can't just damage it a little bit. You have to actually contribute more than the other players to actually get any type of experience or loot. I hope they change that. It doesn't have to be that you have to just touch the mob, but a little bit of contribution, hitting it one skill or two should be giving a little bit of contribution, in my opinion. I don't like that, especially as a melee. It's very not rewarding at all when you're just out here, especially low levels killing, and then there's some range just one shots it or does over 50% of the HP. You lose HP and you get no contribution. It's not a fun experience overall. So hopefully they change a little bit about that. Now, my final thoughts about the game is I wanted to play more, which is always a good thing. I want to play more. I want to explore more. I want to get to the higher levels. I want to see what more of the game is about. I really enjoyed like the combat of the game, how it feels, even how the world is, how big it is, all the stuff. Even though there was some things that were annoying, like questing and stuff, I think as an alpha, it's a really good show for what they showed so far. I think from alphas that I have played and now experienced, this is one of the better alphas that I've tested out. The game is definitely still a few years away from actually like being something, but I think they're going in a really good direction with the game. They definitely need to work a little bit on like a lot of things, but they know what direction they're going in now. So I think the development would be a little faster and more precise, basically getting into the game, right? So I think has great potential. I just hope that they fix all these like small issues, and I do hope, I know they promise a lot of cool, I've seen like videos of them doing like massive boss fights and raid fights, but it's extremely important. A lot of MMOs fail this in the recent times, is have a good balance between PvP and PvE. Because even though PvP, this game would be really good, and when I get the vibe of playing the game, it feels more like a PvP game. But it's extremely important that you don't overlook the PvE. Because even though PvP is really fun and all, and a lot of people want to play PvP, most of the players want a good PvE experience. Like cool raids that are challenging, gives good content, it gives cool rewards, but mainly like challenging raid content, right? Challenging dungeon content shouldn't be too easy. It shouldn't be that's what most people's gonna play. So hopefully it's gonna be a good balance between it. But this is like very like late end game. We don't know what their full plans with this is. But overall, I would say the alpha was fun. I'm looking forward to the next alpha. I'm looking forward to the new changes. I had a good time playing it. But let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for this game? Is this something that you would be playing? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments below. Check out this video right here, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.